progression here, we started out with playing CDs that he remembered to get him back into the real world. We bought him like those little electric organs, like
Keyboard or whatever.
but he didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? It would be like me giving you a guitar and saying,
Right.
strum a little bit for us.
that.
Yeah, you're working on it. I know you are.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of lost to him. And we tried the tambourine thing. But one was really cool. We actually went to a foreign country. It starts with M, ends in an O, and they actually handed him a percussion instrument. The little guys, little mariachis in Mexico, and they were singing and playing their guitars, and they actually had him do the should we say the percussion part of it. So it was really kind of cool. So in his natural life, vacation or whatever, he does music, and he wanted that. He wanted to be a part of them. So he was really paying attention to the rhythm and everything else. That was really cool. Neat little breakthrough. You know?
Yeah.
So
that's something that is a specialty for him, I think, at this point. But
Oh,
it's a challenge, like you said, to master all of the different keys and remember the keys.
And that's the
sequence.
problem. Multitasking for him is difficult because he had a lot of brain injury, all the way back, front and back to the brain. And so you don't know where maybe an interruption is, but luckily the brain is a marvelous thing. And in his age, 17, when he had his accident, a lot of brain cells were still up and coming. Like you and I, we'd be gone, and we don't have extras to spare.
Yeah.
But he had some new ones that might be
it's
developing.
still helping.
Yeah. So it's come along. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, other than the rhythm and things, does he remember, would you say, back to his band days? What's your sense?
Well,
or not really,
here's the deal. Again, he, as we figured it out, he lost memory from 2 months before the accident and probably about 6-7 months after the accident.
Okay.
But the rest of that stuff, not bad. Now, you can have a lot of memories, but actually putting those memories to work, like for example, does he remember and we show him, because we have video of him playing the Castaways, and you can link onto the Castaways and ultimately here when Kyle puts that up on the web. But you'll see him actually play the guitar and everything else. But linking the here and now with him back there. As a matter of fact, the first word I get out with him, the progression, I said, do you remember, Shawn? Because he hadn't spoken at all. I said, do you remember, Shawn, when Mom came through the door? We were in the living room, and Mom was just about ready to come home from work there. And I said, do you remember when Mom used to come home? What did you say to her? He goes, I said, no, you didn't say that. You said, Mom. So about the 15th try, I said, pretend Mom's coming through the door. He said, Mom.
Wow.
His first word. So it just takes a while. So you can reconnect to the old Shawn, and that's really the way to do it. Now, if I asked him to repeat, repeat it again. He can't do it. But then if I walk
the process
him,
of remembering.
Yes, exactly. So there's some damaged ways, pathways. But if you make a new pathway, and then again, repetition. Does he remember all of it? Yes. But is there something you do with it? Well, if you make a new pathway, yes. There you go.
Okay.
That was really cool.
All right. Well, I think that kind of covers it,
Does
right?
it?
In general, or no? You got more?
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to, because I think we talked about the history,
We
where
did.
it came from.
Yes.
I think we're talking about some of the challenges of where he came from.
Yeah.
We talked even about some of the medical insurance issues, but we also talked about where he is now,
Right.
and how he's grown. Now, what do you think the next step is, though? We haven't really talked about that. What do you think a real possible next step that he and Aaron are working on? I mean, what is the next growth in this?
Well, I think if he would work with Joe Satriani, a famous guitarist, I think that would really help us. If you want to sponsor us, Joe.
You just want to hang out with
I want to hang out with Joe.
Yeah.
Well, I actually, in all honesty, whether Joe knew it or not, he actually did sign Joe was here in Grand Rapids, and he actually signed a CD for Shawn. Somebody picked that up for him. We couldn't go to the concert because he wasn't able to. But Joe signed it, and I want to thank you, Joe, for that on camera. Yeah.
But where do you see him going? Any
Here's the
baby
deal.
step here
Here's
at
the
this
deal.
point? Or?
We are baby stepping. Now, the key here is to connect him up with the old Shawn, shall we say, and improve on the new Shawn. But where I see him is get him out in the public, make him feel comfortable about what disadvantages he does have, but also all the good and the positive. So he's writing his own songs. Okay, he's in touch with his own music. That's a key there. And also he feels good around people. I mean, a lot of people that don't have a brain injury have issues with that, so we've got to overcome that. So like as I told you, even how bad a day mine is, it's 4 times harder
Yeah,
for
now
Shawn.
I see, I know we got to go here, but I think this is a critical point, because people look at Shawn, maybe, if they're just brand new to brain injury issues or things, and they go, well, that's nice. Let's see what he's doing in a month or in a year. And sometimes it may be just incremental, or you
Right.
may have some amazing
Right,
thing,
right,
but you gotta just ride this wave every day, because like
Exactly.
you said, it's a challenge for him to just do some of the basic things.
Yeah,
We
and
do.
even though I'm on the front, cutting edge, the front lines here and whatever, a lot of people haven't seen him in a year or two. They go, wow, he's come a long
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So and then I've had him tested and things like that. Now he hasn't, the base is still the same. You know what I mean? We still have all the damage and everything else, but we made some new links, and the doctor has said, the professional doctor has said that he is able to accept more. Now what he does with it is still
Right,
tough.
right.
Like for example, if you gave him 10 new things, he could accept 2.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you try and push the other 8, you're going to lose those 2 that you got
Right,
to begin
right,
with.
right.
But what's really neat, he has more patience with it, he's more open to things, and so it's really kind of cool. So he's grown, as well as a little bit of, however, small steps forward. Because we're still
Yeah.
dealing with the same
Yeah.
tough base, the injured base, but we're making some lateral movements and little baby steps forward. So
Yeah, and I think the amazing thing, knowing you all these years, is just how you're able to be patient with these things. Because sometimes it's a step back, like you'll mention, everything was fine and then he fell, or
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
fine and then this happened. And
Yep.
and you're able to not, just say, what's the point in all
Right.
this? You're able to regroup and say, okay, let's just pick up where we left off and let's do
You
that.
got to.
And you got to be, what a blessing for to have folks like you, for Shawn, and people like Aaron and other people that are just patient and realize that maybe our goal is here, but we got to be patient how we reach that goal.
We do, we really do.
So.
I took him to the happiest place on earth, Disney, and I thought it was going to be happy, it's cool. He's holding onto my shoulder for balance and everything else. They had some explosion there to introduce, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs or whatever. He turned to look, and then he falls. And then so we got little Mickey Mouse Band-Aids on there.
Well, that happened on a ship. We were on a cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And those of you that have been on a cruise know that at a certain point there's formal dining. So you get dressed up and you go into like the formal dining area. Well, we were walking with Shawn. He has a little limp, but he does great.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking along, and I kind of felt, because I'm not always with you guys, hey, we're here and everything's fine. We're just talking and he fell down for some reason. Maybe the ship just barely teetered or something.
Or
Who knows?
you go from rug to tile.
And that's, exactly. So there's so many things that you almost have to anticipate, because he may not notice it in different things. And the next thing you know, he was literally had a bloody nose right before dinner.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a constant challenge for you. You have to rejoice
It's
that we're going to reach something.
24 to keep him safe.
Yeah.
That's the key.
But I mean, you know you might reach something, but you can't get disappointed if you don't reach that.
You can't turn your back
And
on
I
it.
think
It's
you
always gonna
can't
be
set
that.
your goals too high. It has to be realistic, and also understanding the whole picture.
Nope.
All right, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
One of my favorite special segments, as Russ put it.
There you go. Extra.
Extra special, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you come
The
on.
other ones are special, I'm sorry.
That's right.